and I want to give floor to your lecturer, Roman, a lead Java engineer at NX, uh, a great professional in this field. So a round of applause to Roman.
Thank you, Vladislav. Thank you. Well, dear colleagues, I'm really happy to see all of you. And I can see in the chat a lot of people who already participated in previous course. And I also agree with Vladislav that, yeah, you probably retrieved a spoon and a fork. Now it's a time to eat a soup. And to move to the higher level of operation with Java, to understand object-oriented programming, to understand data structures. And here, ChatGPT or other LLMs may help a lot to generate the code, but you need to understand what is going on under the hood. And that's something we try to learn and try to cover during this course. Yeah, I'll be the lecturer of SDT 101. Nevertheless, I believe you will also see Serhiy Tetenko, who was a lecturer in the previous course. He our PhD and associate professor at American University Kyiv. Yeah, currently he is on a business trip and cannot join us. And happy to welcome our teaching assistants, Valentina Polienova and Vlad Fedenko. Thank you, Valentina and Vlad, to helping and managing this course. Yeah, so I believe you can see my screen. And let's try to go through the presentation. And today we have a first lecture. So I think it would be great to introduce what we will be working with and our typical schedule. But yeah, weekly load. So previously it was approximately 20 hours. Now it's we have the lectures and the assignment verification once per week. So probably it will require less workload on your part, but again, everything is in your hands. So I recommend you to continue studying, to learn materials, learn new platforms, try to code on yourself, and also, as Vlad said, you can prompt engineer with a ChatGPT. So as you can see, the distribution of activities. So we have assignments which should cover 40% of the final course mark. Final project should cover 20%. Midterm exam 20%. Final exam 20%, and classwork cover 5%. Yeah. So as during the previous course, you will have your homework, and we'll be checking and working with you on Wednesdays and verifying your homeworks. But you need to remember that all of delays have some kind of penalty, and 1 day of delay, it's approximately 3 points. Maximum 15 points per the homework. Yeah, we already discussed about the topics, and here on the slide you can see the main topics which should be covered in this course. So at the beginning we will start with the GUI and input-output operations. It will cover JavaFX, UI controls, and files I/O. Why JavaFX? Because it's a visual control. You can build some of application, execute it on your machine, and try to get more familiar with objects, with components you will be working with. The second important part is object-oriented programming, like inheritance, polymorphism, abstract classes, and encapsulation. Why we are connected to the GUI? Because object-oriented programming, it is also connected with elements you are working in a graphical user interfaces, like generics, inner classes, interfaces at all. And when we are talking about the OOP, it's also cover a lot of topics related to the UML, Universal Markup Language. So in case when you are reading documentation or planning your internal design of the app, it's also required to document it. And UML is one of the typical common known language where you can use and draw class diagrams, composition, aggregation in this course. Data structures. This topic is one of the quite common and mostly required in each Java interview. So you need to know Java core and data structures like stacks, queues, lists, trees. Also probably will cover some of maps. We will associate all of this data structure with main object-oriented principles. And yeah, in a GUI visualization, you can also use a lot of them. Any kind of software engineering directly relates to the algorithms. And searching algorithms, sorting, again, visualizing it in GUI, trees, and other things will be covered in this course as well. Yeah. Guys, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, or Vladislav, you can assist for whom are in a classroom. If not, we can go to the next slide. Right. As I said before, well, we will be meeting once per week, and this course will be quite prolonged comparing to the previous one. We have a draft understanding about the deadlines, and as I said before, you will have the projects and you need to pass it, and you need to provide results for the first of all project description in the 4 weeks of the course. Starting version of your project probably should be presented on the week 8, and final version and UML approximately on the week 10. I think when Sergey will be back, we can align all of these schedules, but that's something you also need to take in your mind that in months, you can probably start a brief of your project, provide a description. Second months, you need to have initial version of the of your project, and final version should be prepared till the end of the course. Yeah, in case when these schedule will be and these dates will be aligned, we also inform you. And our typical schedule. Yeah, we will be meeting on Wednesdays, Wednesday morning, and we are starting at 9 a.m. and we finish all of our activities approximately at noon. We decided to start the course with assignment check first. Yeah, it's the morning hours. Probably everyone should warm up and probably drink a coffee, and probably it's the best time to discuss your assignments, homeworks, verify them. And I believe at 11, before 11, everyone should be ready and back, and we can continue with the lecture. So typical schedule is 1 hour and a half for the verification, and yep, lecture discussion starts at 11 a.m. Assignment deadline is on every Tuesday. So Tuesday evening, you should, it's a deadline, and it's a final point where you need to submit all of your assignments. Yeah, AI and ChatGPT, large language model, and so on and so forth. So these one are the part of our life already. And Vlad is totally right that they are helping a lot, and you need to provide a proper prompts to your LLM and ChatGPT, and you need to learn how to cooperate with it. So this is a tool. This is not the tool which can provide a whole solution, but this is a tool which can help you and try to teach you. So AI for education and programming is allowed to use. So it may help you to understand and be able to modify the code. And it's not allowed to generate comments in a project and generate the whole description about things you have done. But that's something you can use, and that's something which may help to you. So what is recommended? AI tools for this course. Yeah, probably already known ChatGPT. ChatGPT 4 Plus is of course a paid version. And yeah, you can use it for the prompt engineering, for the getting explanations of the code, for the generation of some drafts. But again, you need to understand that all of them may hallucinate and can provide wrong answers. Your role is to check and understand and verify if something provided by AI is not is true and it's actually satisfies your requirements. Yeah, besides the chat GPT, you can use GitHub Copilot. Also, it's easy to integrate with IDE, with IntelliJ IDEA. In parallel, there are Codium free and Tab 9. Codium is a free version, and you can use it also as an IDE Copilot. And Tab 9 has a 90 days trial. Personally, from my side, I'm using ChatGPT 4 Plus. It's a paid version. And GitHub Copilot, I have a corporate license because I'm working with in a corporation which is requires to use this. But as far as I know, there is an educational license which you can use and integrate with your IDE. Yeah, so as you can see here, we can use AI bots as mentors. Here's he provided some good example. Give me example of usage of integer var in Java. Yeah, and code provided by ChatGPT, even in simple tasks, it's quite well readable, well understandable, and that's something you can that can teach you. On the other screen, you can see how the GitHub Copilot may help you and can describe the parts of the application and provide insights, recommendations, even write tests in some of cases. So you can ask questions. You can ask to explain the code and ask for the code improvements. Both of them are perfectly suitable for typical everyday tasks which can match Java engineer. And yeah, any questions related to AI? If not,
unit tests.
Vladislava, could you please assist because I can barely hear you. Could you please repeat?
Can you ask a little bit louder? Because this...
Okay, yeah. Are we going to cover unit tests in this course?
Actually not. The focus will be in focusing on JavaFX, learning object-oriented programming, learning algorithms and things you saw in the presentation before. Of course, if you want, you can write. It can help you to test in some of sorting or searching algorithms. But yeah, in requirements, it's not mandatory. Nevertheless, if you can ask GitHub Copilot, if you can ask ChatGPT how these AI tools can implement unit tests, it's also good for your self-improvement and self-development. And yeah, if you can implement it and integrate in your solution, it would be really great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good. What is also recommended for this course, you can go to the Semantic Portal.net. And this is an educational platform, and IK is participating in it. And yeah, you can find some kind of typical, even basic courses related to the different programming language. So here, for example, if you are writing an enrollment code for Java 24, you can get the course about the Java basics, about the main concepts in it, and try to recap main of concepts. So here, for example, you can see primitive data types and yeah, it can guide you and teach you. And if you forget anything from the previous course, you can easily recap it using this tool. Good. So let's try to basically revise what we've learned during the previous courses. And yeah, if anyone would like to explain what is here on this slide and describe variables, type of variables, and what is covered, please raise your hand. You can also participate. People online, yeah, you're also welcome. Yep, Yaroslav Klinichenko, you can unmute and join.
So, yeah, everybody, hello. So we've got a public class named variable examples. So the same, we've got a public and static and void method. So that means that we don't have to implement any objects, and don't. So this method doesn't return anything. Then we've got integer variable named age, which we give a 30 value. Then we've got float height. So then we give it. Should I explain it? What does it mean, float, or?
Yeah, it would be great. Difference between float, double, char, boolean.
Okay. So that's integer value can store only integer ones. Then float ones should be added f after the value, and that double values is like a float, but with
higher precision, probably.
yeah. Then char is character variable, so it stores only one character, and boolean variable stores only true or false.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Yaroslav. So what we can see here is a primitive variables: integers, float, double, char, boolean. That's something which stores your data. It's a different types. And I would like to remind that Java is strongly typed language, so you cannot assign anything to the variable a, for example, number, and then reassign it to string, boolean, or anything else like in JavaScript. So here we are quite strict. Integer is for numbers, and float is for floating point variables as well as doubles. That's the key difference from Java from other languages which are not strongly typed, like JavaScript and others. Good. Let's go to the next one. Conditions. Anyone else would like to provide explanations? Anyone in the classroom? Any volunteers? Okay, if not, perfect, yeah. But probably you need to go closer to the microphone to make it possible to hear you better. Of course, if you can see the screen. Is it a little better? Yeah, I can hear you.
So the first statement checks if a variable number is less than 10. If it is, it prints out that number is less than 10. But if statement it is false, it goes to the else if question, which checks if the number variable is less than 20. And again, if this is true, it prints that this is at least 10 but less than 20. And after that, we've got an else statement, and it executes if none of the above statements are true, and it says that the number is 20 or greater. Yeah, that's it.
You're absolutely right. Thank you. And yeah, this is a else if ladder and else if conditions. Each of language has it, and that's one of the basic brick in the whole big wall of the programming. So you need to check something, you need to provide statements, and your application need to verify some of conditions. So for example, the age of the student should be higher than 18 years old, for example, and the logic should have the flow A. Or otherwise it should be skipped, for example. And as you can see here, when the number is less than 10, okay, you have the logic which prints it's less than 10, and otherwise you verify if it's less than 20 and print this number. And in the else statement for any other conditions, you can see that your number is bigger than 20. Thank you, you're absolutely right. Let's go to the next one. Okay, for loop example. Does anyone want to explain quickly? In a Zoom online, in the classroom? Yeah, Yaroslav. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Please go on.
Yeah, so we've got a loop 4. So we create a counter, which we begin from the 1. Then we have a condition that I should be less or equal to 10, and we've got I++. That means that I grows on 1 value per cycle. So
Perfect. You're incrementing by 1.
Increment, yeah, increment.
Okay.
Sorry. Then we've got int square, new variable type of int integer that that has the value of I square, and we just print numbers from the new lines, number I and its square. That's all in every iteration of the cycle or loop.
Perfect. Yeah, you are right. So you will get a set of rows in a system output. So number 1, square value of it is 1. Number 2, square value is 4. Number 3, 9, and so on and so forth. Thank you, Yaroslav. You are absolutely right. And cycles are additional key structure in every language in programming world. So you need to iterate through data structures, through the numbers. You need to recalculate something in a cycle. So you need to go in array from the starting point till the end and provide summary and so on and so forth. So that's something you will also meet in your life as a software engineer, probably on a daily basis. Good. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I've already partially touched arrays topic, but yeah, it would be great to hear anyone from the classroom or on the Zoom online. Okay. I here in the room, in the classroom, someone want to explain?
So
Yeah.
now, is it better?
Yeah. Much better, thank you.
Okay, so at first we have array holds numbers of type integer, and we already initialized it with its numbers for 5 elements. After that, we have just printing something. After that, we have for, so we have loop, and yeah, so here one more time we initialize something kind of counter integer I, which is set to 0. And if this I is smaller than number length, so if it's smaller than length of our array, it's also, if I'm not mistaken, integer type, we should print our elements from array with index I. Our index starts in arrays, it's starting from 0, that's why here integer is 0, not 1. If I put here a 1, it will print from the second element of an array. And so when we print it, we just increment our I, so it will be 1, 2, and when it will be 5, it will be length of array. So No, when s will be 4, s will be 4th element, so actually 5th, but s will be 4, but if it will be 5, s will be out of bench or something out of this. And after that, we have one more variable, sum, which is set to 0, and here we have for each loop, which we can also use for arrays, collections, and we just initialize also one more variable, and for every element from our array numbers, after like we're making sum, and every element will be summed with the next one, something kind of this. So yeah, and so basically, yeah, and so when we will finish this loop, we will have our final sum. So after each iteration, it will be summed, and after that, we just need to print it.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, first of all, you said a good thing that we are starting our iteration and our index in array starts from 0. So that's why here in the for loop, the initial value of I is equal to 0. 0 is actually the first element in array. That's quite common for languages, also C++, C, probably Delphi and Pascal is an exception, but I don't know anyone who still codes is a Pascal. Yeah, you need to take into your mind that iteration starts from 0. And yeah, we have array of numbers 10, 20, 30, 45, 50, and we are accessing them by index. So here we have a for loop, which one by one goes through the array and prints its value. Also, you can see the difference between all for loops below and above. Yeah, so here, as you can see on the second one, for int number from numbers, it automatically auto-boxing the index and iterates through it. Yeah, so here we are getting a summary below. We are summarizing all of numbers by iterating through the array. And yep, you're absolutely right. Your answer is correct. Thank you. Great. Method and program decomposition. Any volunteers to explain quickly what is here? Okay, not a problem. I can explain quickly. Oh, Yaroslav, you've raised your hand. Please proceed. Floor
Yes, okay.
is yours.
So we've got a public class method named method example. Then we've got public static void main. So that's the point that our JVM understand that the program is started. Then we've got integer variable that we initialize by the method sum. So which has two integer parameters, 10 and 20. So we are going to the public static integer sum. So that means that this method is public. It can be reached by anyone. Then it's static, that it doesn't need any object to create. Then integer, then should return integer value, and it has two integer variables like a parameters. So we return the sum of these parameters. So we are going back. So overall, we had a stack for the method. Then we created a new stack while beginning a new method sum. Yes, we had two stacks already. Then we are returning to the previous stack of the method main, and we are printing the sum of. So we're printing result. Then we are calling a new method with the string parameter Alice. This method is called say hello. So we've got a the same public static, but in this time void, so it doesn't return anything. And we just have a parameter string name, and we just operate it with hello, printing it with hello plus name plus
Exclamation mark. Yep.
Okay.
Good, thank you. You're absolutely right. And first of all, you need to remember main is an entry point for your application, and everything starts from main. And yeah, Yaroslav already said quite interesting data structure called stack, so probably we will cover it later in the course. But the methods is the way how we are organizing our program. Some of typical routines shouldn't be rewritten in the main flow of the main method. It can be extended and extracted from it and moved to the separate method. As you can see here, summarization and say hello. That's the way how your program can be more readable and be well organized. Splitting by method, it was a concept before object-oriented programming, because during that time, programs were quite huge, quite it was quite hard to read them, and also a lot of things duplicated. So, for example, some kind of summarization logic could be reused in multiple places, and it makes sense to extract it, but it was copy pasted, and it was hard to read and maintain this code. Yeah, so the methods is the way how you are decomposing your program, reusing the typical routines, and make your code more readable. Yeah, probably the last one, classes and objects. Anyone would want to explain? Okay, if not, I can quickly provide explanation from my side. Well, at some point of time, software engineers understood that they are operating with the real world objects, cars, buses, students, people, and so on and so forth. Actually, they describe them as an object of a typical class. So here you can see example of a car. Car, it's a class which could be described by kind of color, year, model, and anything else. And for the engineering activities, for the programming, it's much easier and understandable to operate by car, by object itself, than providing a bunch of methods. So it's a next level of organization of your code, and it's more clear and understandable for engineers with which objects of the real world we are working. Initially, it was implemented in a C++ by Björn Stroustrup. All of this concept picked up quickly by other programming languages, and well, Java already implemented it out of the box when it was established. And yeah, what can offer classes and object to us? Well, class, it's just a descriptive of typical class of object. Object is an instance of the class. So on the left side here, you can see the class car and this definition, the way how it could be created, and main methods. On the right side, you can see how the object created from a class. Car, my car equals new car. So we created a new instance of it. We can create multiple instances of these cars. Mazda, BMW, anything else, and operate with them as independent separate object, which can use the logic implemented in this class. Typically, classes have fields. It's actually primitive. It could be primitive types or other objects, and here you can define the way which can describe the car. At that point of time, we are defining the car by color, by year. Could be model name, owner, anything else you want. Classes also have constructor. It's the way how you are creating your car. It's quite simple here. So we are just asking to provide a color and a year, and we are setting for the internal fields here in a class. Okay, someone wants to join. Yeah, and also classes can offer methods to you. So that's some kind of actions. Display info about me. So this car is red color and is manufactured in 2020. Here, for example, we can have methods like press a brake pedal, press accelerator, switch transmission to the higher gear, and so on and so forth. This method is the way how you are operating with your object and with your class. And yeah, in that way, you are organizing your application in more understandable and clear way for other engineers and for you, because operating with an abstraction is much efficient than operating with a bunch of primitive types. Any questions here? If not, then let's go to the next one. Yeah, so we quickly recap what we have done before. And this course is starting from the JavaFX GUI programming. Why so? Because JavaFX provides the possibility to visualize everything you're working, and you can create your app with buttons, with components, labels, and it provides more clear and understandable way how to operate with object itself, how to visualize them, and how to work with them. So JavaFX is a separate component of Java. It provides a possibility to use the components for UI, and yeah, you can execute it on different platforms, macOS, Windows, Linux, anywhere where Java SDK installed. So how we can create? Actually, during the second part of our lecture, we will try to help you and try to execute JavaFX application on your machines. But typical guide is the following. You need to have JDK installed on your machine. You need to have the IDE installed like IntelliJ. And in IntelliJ, you need to create a new project and select JavaFX here. So all of configuration displayed here. We can use a Git, create a Git repository as we did before, and probably in your homework assignments, it will be required to get a Git repo and put everything in it. Yeah, but your first assignment would be to create a JavaFX, configure a JavaFX application, configure it, and try to execute on your local machine. So here you need to select JavaFX. And yeah, typical application is a hello world. Yeah, it says that yeah, it's being implemented. And when you execute it, it has quite typical simple components like a button, label, and provides you a draft for the further activities. Yeah, so how initial application structures looks like? Well, as we checked before, we have a main method. A main method is an entry point for JavaFX application. We have a method start, which executes a whole scenery and the main application on your machine. And yeah, hello application class, which implements your typical application class from the JavaFX library. It extends all of components and logic you can reuse, and it has the next four. So the method start is the starting point from your scenery, and it loads a UI description for the hello view fxml. It has a scene, and you can set the title and for your application and provide a theme. Hello view fxml, it's a description of components in your UI. In our example, we'll have a simple case when there is only one button and label. Later on, we can see it in detail. And yeah, the main method as an entry point uses the launch method from the application class. Launch method executes the whole scenery and visualize your application. Yeah, I have an idea on my part, and I have this project already executed and implemented. So technically, you have this hello application. I believe you can see my screen and it's quite visible for you. If yes, then what is result of the initial? Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
I think you need to zoom up a little bit, code.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you.
Zoom in. I'll go to the presentation mode. Yeah, in this code, probably you can see it much better. Right.
Yes.
Good. So here you can see the example, and you probably will try to do it on your part. We have this hello view fxml, which actually describes the scenery of the JavaFX application and the main entry point to launch the app. Yeah, I've already configured a lot of things on my part, and I can even execute it. And in result, in a second, I believe I'll have the hello application. Yeah, it's on a different screen. Probably I need to exit presentation mode and back it here. Yeah, you can see your hello application. Welcome to JavaFX. Good. And yeah, so if you will take a precise look into this code, we are loading the description, we are providing it into the theme, we are setting the hello header, and to this stage, we are setting the main theme you would like to display and requiring to show it. Let's go back to the presentation. And yeah, let me meet someone. And let's continue. Okay. Here in the presentation, you can see details how hello view looks like. And that's actually the way how we can build our application view by using XML. XML is extended markup language, and it's quite similar to HTML, and it provides you the possibility to build a layout of your app. So here, for example, we are saying that we have the vertical box aligned to the center, which related to the hello controller. We also set in the padding. Padding means that we are positioning this vertical box inside of the scenery. We are setting a label, welcome text. As you can see here, it's hello world, and we are setting the button. This is the way how we are organizing the view, and it helps to provide a descriptive way and understandable way how it looks like in a way similar to how HTML works. You can also do that by code, but in this case, you'll probably mess a business logic with representation one, but it's still possible, and probably at the beginning, you will be working in this way. But for your understanding, the hello world view fxml is a data structure where you can just describe your view of the app. Yeah, the second point here, we have a controller. A controller matches to the objects we have in the hello view fxml, and it provides reactions on the objects. So here we have a label and we have a button. As you saw it on the demonstration, when you are pressing on the hello button, it should change text to the welcome to the JavaFX application. So this reaction should be programmed somehow, and implementation of the controller is the best way how to do that. These yellow things are annotations. Annotations, the way how to provide additional control over the object and match them. So for example, here I'm saying that fxml annotation should match this label welcome text object to the data we have in the previous abstructure fxml. Yeah, you can see here this label. It called with ID welcome text. And here we are associating this object with a view representation. As well, the same thing is working here. fxml says that this one is a reaction to the hello button click. Let's move to the previous one. Yeah, we have a button and we have an action. And this one is an association. This association says that when I'm clicking on the button, the text should be changed. And it should be changed to the welcome to the JavaFX app. Any questions here? Is it understandable for you? If no questions, let's move to the next one. Yeah. Previously, we just reviewed how we can organize all of these UI objects through the XML notation, but yeah, you can do the same by using the code. Here is a good example. And yeah, we have the vertical box. We also providing some kind of spacing. We are aligning it in the center, providing the padding as well, and initiating object imperatively. So welcome text should be a label, hello button should be the button, and hello button has an action. So when we are clicking, set on action, yeah, the welcome text should be changed to the hello world. Set on action means when the button is being activated. Yeah, we are associating all of these things to the root object, to the vertical box, and we are associating it with the stage theme. Yeah, so again, here we are a bit of mixing business logic with UI representation. Probably the best way would be to keep still it as an XML, but it's a more imperative way. And for you, it might be easier one because you are not overcomplicating your solution by using XMLs, annotations, and other things. Yeah, good. And one question to you, probably for colleagues who was working already with Java 8 and even higher versions. What actually is that?
I'm not sure, but something kind of lambda.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's a lambda.
Yeah. It's a lambda. I'm not sure how really it's worked, but ever since I remember, it just like when we can call, we just is there a way to call a class or something kind of this? Because in Java sometimes we need to write all these annotations like override, non-nullable, all this stuff, and also like that we call class, and it just is there a way more readable.
Readable, that's true. And yeah, your answer is correct. It's a lambda. And probably in the next slide, we can compare it yeah, with other lambdas. So we have some kind of actions and lambda expressions itself. Set on action, welcome text, set text, hello world. And we can describe this lambda in one row. We can also provide the curly brackets. And here we can also provide even directly provide a class which is related to this lambda. So this is a way how to transfer the behavior to the different object. Yep. So here we are setting an action. We should set a reaction if something is happening, and we need to describe this logic. Before Java 8, it was implemented like an anonymous inner classes. So everything in Java is a class related to classes, and everything in Java is an object. If we have an action, it's an object as well. before Java 8, it was described in this way, like event handler, action event, and this object was responsible to handle the reaction on the event. Yeah, you can compare it with lambdas, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that this one is more descriptive. And in case you have a lot of actions, it's less understandable. Let's go back to the lambda itself, and everything described here is equivalent to this one. And from Java 8, when lambda was created, Java compiler already understand the class, already understand which method should be called, because it's only one method in the description. And you can simplify the logic and reduce the descriptiveness by providing lambda expression, because for compiler, it's already known that you probably use a handle method. The action would be with welcome text, and everything else will be added automatically by compiler. So with your work, it's highly recommended to use lambda instead of typical inner anonymous classes. And in case you will be working with Stream APIs, Java collections, and others, it's also highly recommended to use this way of the declaration of logic for filters, predicates, suppliers, and other things. But that's something you will learn in the future. Good. Controls. Yeah, so your application probably consists not only from the buttons and from the labels. JavaFX offers a wide variety of controls like checkboxes, text boxes, selector lists, option button, and so on and so forth. So here I also have an example on my machine. You can try to execute it for you. Give me a minute. Yeah, we have a controls demo. I've got lost words in my PC. Let me try to re-execute it. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's again on a different screen. Probably it will be complicated to reshare. Yeah, you can see this example here. We can select, provide a name, for example, Roman. We can select a gender, accept terms and condition, select an option, BDS, BSE, and so on and so forth. Create a summary. Yeah, how it works under the hood. Everything you can build with JavaFX components by using XML or by using the Java code itself. We can even go deeper to the code here. I can open controls demo. Yeah, and in this example, you can see that everything created by code, and components we have here are HBox. It's like radio box where you are collecting all of your possible selections, labels, toggle groups, radio buttons, text areas, summary button, and here you can see the lambda itself. Yeah, so when we are clicking, setting an action to the button, that we are currently generating a report in a separate text box. Clear button to remove everything, and so on and so forth. So here we can see that JavaFX can provide a wide variety of components you can reuse in your work. And in the first assignments, you will need to get familiar with them. Yeah, and the amount of object is quite huge. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Good. So let's check all of these components in details. Text field and combo box. First of all, text field is a place when you are providing your name. As I did on my side, I provided my name and the class called text field. And in this example, you can define it. Combo box, in some of cases, is called selector. It's the way how to define a drop-down and select, in this example, your gender. Here you can see the code, how it's defined. We have the combo box. We have the items in it added. So object called gender combo box. We are getting items and adding into the list all of combinations like male and female. And yeah, gender box, it's like a container where you're collecting everything together. And it has a gender label and gender combo box. So it means that it collects objects like a label gender, which says actually what you're going to provide, and the combo box, a drop down where you can select a male or a female. Yeah, everything is collected in the horizontal box, which is located here. And in this way, you are aggregating type of objects and UI elements and organizing them together. Let's go to the next one. We have checkbox. It's actually the ticker, accept terms and conditions. You can find it here, and it's defined by the checkbox class. In the code, it's being defined as a terms checkbox, and terms checkbox being added also to the whole of the scenery. Most interesting one is toggle group. Toggle group collects a couple of radio buttons. Radio button for BSE or BDS. It's an aggregator, and as you saw, when I'm selecting BSE and then BDS, then BSE will be deselected. So each of this radio button defined separately as an object, but for them we are defining the toggle group. Toggle group object is responsible for the proper selection and to keep working in the way that we are able to select only one of these options. And text area. Text area, actually here it's the object called comments text area. It's this one. It's a place when you can provide your comments or any other information. Yep, text area class has the possibility to set predefined height and some other options if it's needed. And it goes in pairs with a label. So to make our application clear, we are saying that this block is related to the comments. We are creating a label. And under the label, we are putting this text area. Good. Any questions so far? If not, then go to the next one. Generate summary. This is a button. And this button has an action. So first of all, we are defining the button, calling them summary button, providing a text for it, and an action. Action is actually a lambda. What should happen when user is pressing on generate summary? Everything should be collected as a one string and provide the summary of the input we provided before. Name, gender, accepted terms, selected options, and the comments. Actually, here you can find the logic. So if the toggle group selected or not, we are providing selected options, should be BSE, BDS, or even nothing. And we are concatenating a summary. Summary looks like a name, is also contains a name, gender, accepted terms, selected options, and other things. So string format is the way how we are formatting our output. So here you can see the pattern. And in this pattern, Java substitutes the values. For example, on the first place, we are providing the name, and it's being retrieved from the name text field as a text. Gender from the gender combo box, accepted terms from the terms checkbox, selected option from the value we calculated here, and a comments text area from the comments text area object. So here is a formatting, and percentage n means that we are moving to the next line, and percentage s means that we are formatting this data as a string. In result of this action, we are providing a summary text area, and this summary being put here as a result. Guys, please let me know if everything is clear about that. If yes, then let's move to the next one. Oh, yeah, I heard someone.
Yes.
Vladislav, could you please assist because I can barely hear?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Good. Yeah, here we have a clear button. So how clear button is working? Again, in the same way as a generate summary, we are defining an object and we are setting an action. If we would like to clear everything, we are clearing all of fields, setting checkbox selected as a false, toggle null, and clearing all of text boxes. Pretty simple, and I think it's pretty understandable. Yeah. The last block from the JavaFX you probably might know, it's a layouts. And here we have an example of putting the objects in vertical and a horizontal scale. But let's check what is going on in details. We have a pane. Pane is a base layout container. Layout container is a probably container with the rules how you're organizing your object. Yeah, in example code, you can see on the screen, you have a circle object with center coordinates and the radius. You have a pane like here, and you're associating this circle with a pane. Pane is actually a collector container. And in container, you may have a different object, circles, rectangles, and everything else you need. What this action says that you're adding the circle to the container pane, and you're positioning it in absolute way by setting the ways and haze directly. So pane being added to the scene, seeing the object which represents the view. And in this way, you can see the representation like on the screenshot on the right side. So the logic following is the scene. For the scene, we are associating the pane. We are adding the base haze, saying the title of this stage object, and showing it. But we can have a different way of organization the components on your view. And we have vertical boxes and horizontal boxes, V box and H box. All of them are subclasses of pane. And obviously, they are created for the organization in vertical and horizontal positioning, as you can see in example screenshot. So we have rectangle, circle, and square, and they are organized vertically and horizontally. Let's take a precise look into the code. So horizontal box, we are defining the objects, H box. Here it's called shape box 2. And we are putting inside a spacing. It's a distance between the objects in this H box and a set of objects, rectangle, circle, and again rectangle. Actually, it's a square, but well, rectangle with the same width and height, it's a square. JavaFX doesn't have a specified object for it, but nevertheless, I think it's clear. Yeah, also here in the shape box too, we are setting the background. Background means the color and some of gradients. And yeah, by setting this set of objects, we are setting the background color, and yep, the HBox looks like you can see on the screen above. Okay, you can also align it to the center of your scenery and set the padding to the top right, bottom left. So actually, it's again the positioning of the whole shape box in your view. So by working with this way, you are positioning the whole shape box. So all of objects inside of it will be aligned automatically. And yeah, so here you can find also the example of layout decompositioning. You can have vertical box and horizontal boxes. And in this example, we can provide a set of objects and vertical and horizontal boxes inside of each other's. So we have a root. Yeah, a root is a basic object which covers all of the scenery. It's probably in a light blue color. Inside of the vertical box, we can put a bunch of horizontal boxes and vertical boxes as well. Like here, we already saw this example before. We are providing horizontal box on the top and setting the square, circle, and rectangle. On the sub box below, everything is organized as sub V boxes. So we are creating V boxes for each of the thing and putting it in a root. As you can see here, VBox left box, VBox center box, VBox right box. So these objects are containers inside of the higher level container on the root. And they are organized from the left to the right. Inside of each of these objects, we can provide again, our rectangles, circles, and other objects. And yeah, the bottom box, organize it sequentially, and we are putting them one by one from the left to the right. Let's go to the code. Probably it would be more clear for you how it works. And I believe it should be a layout decomposition example. Let me execute it first, just to show you. Yep. Here you can find the working example. General root container. Inside of it, we have additional horizontal container with a gray background, having 3 objects like square, circle, and rectangle. Under it, we have another one in not a pink, but it's, I don't know how to properly say this color. Okay, we have another one container, and inside of it, we have 3 vertical boxes with the same set of objects. Let's check the code one more time. Out decomposition. Yep. Okay. We have JavaFX application. We have the main entry point and the starting scenery. Again, root vertical box. It's aligned in the center. It has a padding 100 pixels. It has a light blue background. It's being associated to the overall theme. We have the box on the top with rectangle, circle, and again, rectangle. We are setting the background for it like light gray, providing the alignment, providing the padding, and we are defining our left box with a silver background, center box in the same way, but with, yeah, it's absolutely equivalent, and right box. Everything later on being collected to the horizontal box, and we are putting all of our elements from the left to the right, as you can see here. As a last step, we are setting the top box with a gray background and the bottom box with light pink background. That's how we can organize our layout and components on our screen in JavaFX application. Good. Any questions here? No questions. That sounds good. Then I can exit the presentation mode and go back to the presentation. Good. So far so clear, and seems we are done. We are done with the scope of JavaFX, and we have 10 minutes for questions from your part related to the material we just covered. Later on, we can take a break and go back for the verification of your local setup, trying to execute JavaFX application to be prepared for the first homework. So first of all, guys, any questions? Anything you want to ask, and I need to replay and explain one more time?
I have a quite random general question, if I may.
Please, yes, sure.
What is JavaFX used for? Because I haven't quite heard of it much. This is like desktop applications? Yeah,
you're right. To be honest, Java is not a typical language to implement user interfaces. Everything moved to the cloud, to the web applications, to mobile platforms. Nevertheless, this is still a part of a Java world, Java SDK. And why we are starting with it? Because it's a quite typical and well visualized way how to understand objects, how to understand how they are connected with each other, and how you can create lambdas actions, and you can already see the result on your desktop. I'm pretty sure that you will not directly be using JavaFX if you will be working as a software engineer, but nevertheless, it provides a clear understanding what is going on with in terms of object-oriented programming. As you remember, we just covered classes and objects, and here with JavaFX, you can see the direct visualization like rectangle, circle, H boxes, stickers, and anything else. So that's just for clarity and understandable way how to organize and real, not real, but objects, and how to work with them.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A kind of random question from me, from class.
Sure.
Does Java have any like from UI frameworks or UI libraries? Like I'm not saying in the term of Tailwind, CSS, or for example, like, but maybe something to make like easier this sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, again, Java is not a typical language for the UI and templates generation. If you are talking some of similar examples to the CSS and organizing the layout, so it provides this way of organization here with XML. So it's quite similar to HTML, but without the CSS, because you are directly saying and putting information about the positioning of the objects. And yeah, but what offers some of Java libraries from the third parties, they can generate the HTML representation by using the Java code. So for example, in practice, we had a task to generate PDF report generated from the HTML page. HTML page is well designed together with CSS. And all of this data being collected by Java backend application. So Java under the hood built it from scratch and transformed the data to HTML plus CSS and converted to the PDF. Some of third-party tools exist, of course. Nevertheless, it's also not so common task for Java application.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sure.
With the last example where we had a pink box and then 3 boxes, are they just aligned that way that they look so great, or is it those 3 light gray boxes some kind of connected via code with the pink box?
They are connected. They are put it inside of this pink box. Let's go back to the code itself. And I think it would be great to review it one more time. Please let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see this object. Yeah, it's light pink. It's a bottom horizontal box. You can see already that there are some of numbers which are related to the positioning of the object. And inside of the horizontal bottom box, we are collecting left box, center box, right box, which has in this rectangle, circle, and rectangle objects inside of them. So they are organized in that way. So we have a root, we have upper box, we have a bottom box. Inside of bottom box, we have left box, center box, and right box. And that's how they are organized. So answering your question, if they are connected, yes, they are connected and covered under the upper level object bottom box.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, let's quickly go back to our assignment. Yeah, today we had an exceptional case because first we started with a lecture, and currently we will be working on the classwork. For the next time at 9 a.m. we are starting with your assignments verification, and later on at 11, approximately closer to 11, we are starting with the lecture. Yeah, today we have the first classroom. I believe you can see my screen, and we have first classwork 1, JavaFX introduction. What we should do, we need to create JavaFX Hello World app, explain the structure of the project, create demo form with controls, explain controls, handle button, click and access control values, explain event handling.
Roman, you can see a slide with semantic portal registration. Is this right?
Sorry, yeah.
I think you share everyone's screen.
Sorry, a lot of screens, my bad. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Now you should see the right one. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Classwork 1, JavaFX introduction.
JavaFX introduction, yeah. So should be quite simple, but here me and Vladislav can assist you in case of any kind of questions. What we should do today, create JavaFX Hello World app, explain the structure of the project, create demo form with controls, explain controls, handle button, click and access control values, explain event handling. Yeah, how we can proceed? From my part, I can create a Google Meet and share with a chat. And one by one, you can join the call with your questions and also with your demos. To keep all of these things much simpler for you, we have a presentation, and I can just share some of insights we have in it about the controls and actions for the button. I think, yeah, you can take it as a hint on your side. I think you can see this presented on your screens. And yeah, so that's the plan. Let's go. So